It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Do you want to hear the story that got my grandma kicked out of my family? Unfortunately, the story involves me. Okay, so I am 12 in this story, and we are not talking about my Nana. My Nana that was from the UK was my absolute world. Those grandparents were my life. We are talking about my mom's mom. We called her Nanny. Nanny did not want kids, shocker, told my mom that all the time, and my mom passed that down to me. So didn't really see her growing up until my little brother was born. When he was born, she was apparently super excited. She always wanted a boy, only got my mom, and she was really, really excited to have a grandson. So once he was born, we visited every single summer. So the older I get, the more obvious it becomes to me and like everyone else that she really, really hates me. So my mom basically was like, it's gonna be pretty easy for me to cut you off, but if you wanna see your grandson, who you love so much, you need to be nicer to Scarlett. So Nanny had a motorhome. I honestly don't know the difference between a motorhome and an RV. I think a motorhome is just smaller. So picture like a small RV. As a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Anytime we got to drive.
Wait a minute, what in the whiteness is going on? What is that in her macaroni and cheese? Is that beans or little meatballs or something? Can y'all, somebody who's of the ethnicity of a white person, please tell me what is in this mac and cheese?
In the motorhome, I was like so excited. So Nanny knows that I love the motorhome, and Nanny says, I'm gonna take Scarlett on a trip, just her and I. We are going to bond, it's gonna be great. So she decides for April vacation, while I'm in middle school, she's gonna pick me up in the motorhome in Massachusetts, and we are gonna drive all the way to Miami, Florida. I think it was supposed to be like a 4-day journey. I'm excited. I'm thinking that I'm gonna finally get to bond with this lady who has been so mean to me forever. She pulls up, we're all saying our goodbyes. I'm like loading up my stuff into the motorhome. I'm thrilled. As soon as we start pulling away, she says, all right, little bitch, here's how it's gonna go. She's like, this is my bunk, that's your bed. I don't wanna hear back talk. I don't want sarcasm. You are seen, not heard while I'm driving. I pick the music, like all these little kind of my house, my rules vibe. My mom's parents are divorced, shocker, and she has been a single lady forever. Like she never remarried, but she's always dating someone. Like Nanny always has a date. Basically, she was like, we are gonna be making several stops, like each state that we cross, I have a date. And you're just gonna hang out in the motorhome. I'm like, oh, okay. Kind of thought we were gonna spend time together, but whatever. She says, I don't believe in banks, so don't go rummaging around in the motorhome because there's stacks of cash. She then says I am not to touch her bunk whatsoever because in the mattress, she has stacks of cash, like they are scattered around the motorhome anyway, but also a pew-pew because the world is dangerous and being a woman in the world is really scary. And so she has a pew-pew. But I really want to go to Miami and I want my grandmother to like me. So I'm just kind of like, okay. And every time she's speaking to me, she's calling me little bitch. And before you're like, why aren't you texting home? Like, why didn't you turn the motorhome around? You have to remember what I would be coming home to. Like, it wasn't much better at home. And in my 12-year-old head, at least this trip, it's not that different to home, but I'm ending up in Florida. Like, that was exciting. So one of our first nights, she has a dinner date and she's gone. And I'm looking through the cupboards because I'm like, what am I gonna have for dinner? I'm just alone in this motorhome parked God knows where. She comes home and she freaks out. She's like, did you use the bathroom? And I'm sure like I had peed while she was gone. She was gone for like several hours on this dinner date. She says, we don't use the motorhome bathroom. Then you have to empty the tank. It's a whole thing. Anytime you have to use the bathroom, tell me and we'll just pull into a gas station. So I'm like, oh, okay, all the time? Like, that's kind of scary. I've never, like, peed at a gas station before. And she says, yes, little bitch, every time. So just keep that one in mind, okay? We're traveling for the next couple of days. It's a weird couple of days, but it's okay. We are slowly approaching Florida. We start like pulling over to different beaches on the way there. The weather's nice. She's working on her tan. She's got a little mirror set up. We get to one of the beaches. I ask for some sunscreen because I'm the color of a napkin. And she says, don't be a little bitch. We don't need sunscreen. I for sure do. So, of course, I end up with horrifying burns all over my body. I don't know the degree of what it was, but there were blistering and bubbles. It was awful. She goes on and on about how dramatic I am and my skin is just as dramatic as me and blah, 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 little bitch, little bitch. So my poor little burned body can barely sleep because of all of the blisters, and every time I would move, it would like get stuck to blankets. It was bad. I'm crying, I'm complaining, then it's like obviously really upsetting Nanny because she already thinks I'm a little bitch and now I'm being a little bitch about it. She was furious. And while I'm awake and drinking water and trying to like cool down, I say, I need to pee. Can I use the motorhome bathroom? Of course, she says no. She's like, I'll take us to a gas station. You'll pee in the gas station. I don't know what time it was, but it was late. Like we were sleeping. She was sleeping. So she pulls us around to some gas station and just says, okay, like, there you go. I'll wait for you here. So I am like, what? It's nighttime. It's dark. The bathroom's always around the gas station. So I have to go in on my own and ask the scary guy for the huge paddle key. And then what? And she's like, you woke me up. Don't be a little bitch. Go. So I do it. I go into the gas station and I'm all embarrassed because I'm covered in blisters and I have to pee. And I ask for the key. He's like, yeah, it's around back. I'm walking in the dark, open the bathroom door, pee, come back out. Motorhome's gone. Motorhome's gone. Nanny's gone. Now, did I have a cell phone? Yeah, I owned one. It was a Nokia little brick thing. Kind of looked like a chocolate. Anyway, that is conveniently in the motorhome because I didn't think to bring my Nokia to the bathroom at the gas station. Should've, didn't. So I'm immediately hysterical, screaming, crying, thinking it's a little prank, realizing it's not a prank. Where's Nanny? I go walking back into the little gas station convenience store and I'm like, did you see a motorhome? It pulled away. He has no idea what I'm talking about. I ask the gas station guy, can I use the landline? And I call my house and I'm like, Mom, Nanny did this and she's only calling me little bitch and I asked for sunscreen and I'm covered in burns and she left me at this gas station. I'm like going off. So my mom is like, what the actual F? Like, no one can do that to my kid except me. So she's like, I'm going to get off the phone so I can call her so that she can come pick you up because there was no other way to get her back to me. So my mom calls the gas station back. She's like, the trip's canceled. Your grandma's going to pick you up and drive you straight to the Miami airport. You're coming home. And I'm like, okay, thank you. The state of Nanny when she pulled up, I swear I could see smoke coming out of her ears. She was so upset. You little bitch, I went on one very quick date. What's a couple hours on your own at 12? Granted, I'm like in my pajamas at a gas station thinking that she's waiting for me. It's not like she dropped me off at the mall. But yeah, I guess she got some kind of booty call that she decided to message while I went into the gas station on my own and just thought that I would be fine. So it was a very quiet drive to the Miami airport. Don't know how far away we were, but she dropped me off straight there. I had never been through an airport on my own before, so I asked if she would walk me to security. She's like, yeah, fine, whatever, okay. So we are just kind of looking straight ahead, not acknowledging each other. I'm exhausted. She's pissed. And by the time I get to security, I realized that she had turned around at some point. She was not there anymore. And we never spoke again.
Bruh, whose Nana was this? Good Lord. She didn't even like you. I don't even know why she even decided, hey, you should come along. Grandma was a hoe. Grandma was a prostitute. If she didn't pick that up at 12 years old, I bet as a grown woman, she know my grandma was a hoe. Like, I'd be pissed. I would have drove and met Nana and gave her a piece of my mind. Like, what in the entire fuck do you leave my kid to go be a hoe for? Anyway.
It's a fun fact Friday, except instead of a fun fact, it's another horrifying story. I firstly just need to say thank you so much for all of the support over the last 24 hours. Waking up to 100,000 people following me is crazy. I feel like the Ashby of trauma. But actually, like, to be so serious, it feels crazy, and I'm really appreciative, and just the outpouring of love and support has been stunning. Anyway, I'm not good at emotions, so we're just gonna go on. We are gonna finish out the nanny story. People were asking, have I heard from her since? Did I hear from her ever again? Not directly. So I was 12 in the motorhome story. We're gonna skip some years, and now we're in college. Okay, so as far as grandparents that I had at the time, Nana, my UK grandmother, who I loved, different to Nanny. It's confusing because they have similar names. Nana had passed away. She passed away before I turned 16. Nanny, excommunicated from the family. We don't talk to her, acknowledge her. So I don't consider her at all. We have my mom's dad, Fred, who was lovely, like just kind of a grumpy old man, but totally fine. And then my UK grandpa, who was just the best. My British grandparents were my world. This story involves Fred, who Nanny married. So Fred never remarried. I'm sure he was traumatized. He was kind of a recluse, and his emergency contact remained Nanny. So Grandpa Fred and Nanny at the time both lived in Colorado. Not together, but like they were both in Colorado. I had weekly little catch-up phone calls with Grandpa Fred while I was in college, and on one of those weeks, he missed a phone call. So didn't have family to call to see what happened to Grandpa Fred, because it was just Nanny, and I know that Grandpa Fred was in the military, so if he had a medical emergency, he would probably go to a military hospital. I'm calling all the military hospitals in Colorado, and I finally get a hold of the one that's like, we have him, and they told me that he had this medical emergency and things are not looking good, and if we're not based in the state, we should come out. So we come to Colorado. So originally it was just gonna be me. I had my own little money from working in college, and I booked a flight to Denver. I told my mom the situation. She hadn't spoken to her dad in I don't even know how many years, and so she originally didn't want to come. And I was going either way, but I told her I think it would be really important for you to say your goodbyes to your dad. And so she comes, we make a little trip of it. I get to the hospital, and in his room, there's a whiteboard of like his care team. And at the top it had, like family contact, and it was blank. So I put in my number and my mom's number because we were there to visit him and we were family. So we see him the first day. It's obviously super emotional, and there's this reunion between him and my mom. I'm crying. We're all just like wishing him well. It was super emotional. And then we leave the hospital. We go back to his place to spend the night. We go back to the hospital the next morning, and we go into his room, and the first thing I see is that my name has been wiped off of the whiteboard. My number, everything, totally erased. So I pull one of the nurses aside, and I'm like, hey, my contact information has been erased. Like, what's that about? Like, I'm here, my mom's here, like, we're direct family, what's going on? And she says, oh, well, his emergency contact came and said that you're not family. So Nanny had come to the hospital because this is when we figured out he's got her listed as his emergency contact. She showed up to the hospital and erased our name off the whiteboard, knowing that we were there. So we tell the nurses, this is his next of kin. I'm the granddaughter. Our names should be up there. Like, we're going to keep visiting. Please put our contact info back up. We get that all cleared up, and then we go back to his house to spend the night. And picture like an old grandpa's house. Like, there's photos of us everywhere. There's pictures of me, there's pictures of my mom, there's pictures of all of us, me growing up, my little brother. Like, it's a grandpa's house. There's photos everywhere. When we get to his house, I think, oh, a picture's fallen down. So I go and pick it up. It's like a picture of me as a kid. I'm like, oh, adorable, whatever. No, every single picture that had me and or my mom were turned face down throughout his entire apartment. Not all of his photos, just the ones that had me and my mom, or just me. So that was terrifying. Clearly she had a spare key to his house and, you know, it was like a just in case kind of thing and just wanted to cause some mischief. Yeah, we left Colorado. We said our goodbyes. Grandpa Fred passed away a few days later. And when we reached out to try and get his funeral arrangement information, she like shut it down. She was his emergency contact, and like we don't even know where Fred is buried to this day. So that's kind of the last we heard from Nanny, except when she was turning down all the pictures in Fred's house of me. One of those pictures must have been related to me, like either getting into college or me standing in front of my school, something, because she found out what college I was going to. And I don't know how many letters she sent, but I know that she sent several letters to my school saying that I should be kicked out of school for stealing her last name. Because my last name is hyphenated. Because my parents weren't married when I was born. And so I got pulled into the office like multiple times, and the woman was so nice who worked at my school, and she was like, before we even get into this, mental illness runs in my family too. But this woman has been writing us and we just wanted to let you know. Yeah. Also, I went to music school, and the woman in the office was like, if you wanted your name to be Xylophone, that would be fine. This is your legal name. But even if it wasn't, like, you can have a stage name here. We just want to alert you that this crazy lady has been writing the school for quite a while. And that led me on a deep dive to then like find her Facebook, because she's old. Of course she's on Facebook. Of course it was public. Like, she didn't know how to like make it private. Every day or every week, I can't remember, but her only Facebook status for years was Scarlett is not my granddaughter. Every week. For the people that are like, out her, give us her name, she's still alive and she's crazy. Like, Nanny is nutso. I don't want to summon that kind of energy. Every day for God knows how long, and she's like, Scarlett is not my granddaughter. She wasn't texting, but like, probably. Yeah. So that's the Nanny story. Hopefully there's no updates ever, except because I Google it all the time, and she's like, she's still kicking.
That's her mama's mama. Damn. That's crazy. Yo, mama's mama hate your mama and you that bad? Oh my God, I couldn't imagine. Like, I bet your daddy like, what the hell did I marry into? I got the wrong family pregnant. No, I'm just joking. You're a blessing, Scarlett. Anyway, that's crazy. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I've never had I actually love my grandparents. Actually, well, my grandma on my dad's side, I love her dearly. Well, I did love her. She died when I mean, I still love her, but I mean, she no longer here. She boy, I got a story. I can tell y'all. Y'all got time? Okay. Just bear with me. Man, she used to take us to church 80,000 times a week. And there was a Church of God of Christ, and we ate dinner there. Sundays we were there Saturday night. We go back Sunday morning. We go home. Then we go back after we eat. Then we go home and eat dinner, or we eat at the church, and then we there praising and singing. She wanted us in the choir. I'm like, man, I can't sing. And just church all the time. And you know what? I know why we went to church all the time. Because my grandma was a rolling stone. But she had to get right with God. But I loved her. But what I didn't like so much was I didn't realize this until I got older because of I know what my last name is, and I used to try like I remember one day this man coming to pick us up, and he kept coming to pick us up, and then my dad finally was like, "That's your grandpa," and I'm like 8 years old, so I'm kind of letting this process. I'm like, well, who is this man that we named after? And he didn't tell us the story, but eventually he told us the story, and then so it never mattered, right? It never mattered, but as I got older, we would be going over there, and I could sense, something different. Well, we was getting treated differently than my cousins, who we all thought we had the same grandpa, but I would see they would be getting treated different. I'm like, a little shady. It wasn't until I got older, till I put two and two together. I was like, man, he didn't even like us. He didn't like us because of the situation with my dad, and he didn't. It was a lot of stuff he didn't show up to, and which pissed my dad off even more. Like growing as we got older, we started to realize, and I remember my mama going off on him because the way he treated us. Like it was just, and it was just stupid, insane. So, I mean, whatever. But I remember, I remember the last Thanksgiving that we had with my grandpa, and then he came, and somebody, mind you, he old and senile, right? And he don't know if we coming or going. But somebody had the bright idea to let him pray. And it had to be my daddy, because I don't know who the hell thought of this. But bro started praying. He was like, he said, and we need to pray this man Donald Trump out of office. I don't know what. I said, what the hell this got to do with Thanksgiving? Like, everybody, when he said that, everybody looked up like, where's he going with this? And he started, bro, I wish we had that prayer on recording, because it had nothing to do with Thanksgiving, to say the least. It was all over the damn place. But he finally said, amen. We was like, ooh, amen. Like, we don't know where we was going with this. But yeah, he's no longer here, so rest in heaven to him. But yeah, that's where we got our last name from, the man who didn't like us. Ain't that something? So she's not the only person with a grandparent that didn't like her.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.